Charter schools
battle over school choice.
It's not a private school. It's not a magnet school. Charter schools are public, kind of.
Public schools that are taxpayer funded but privately run.
A little more than a decade ago, only about 300,000 students were enrolled in charter schools nationwide. As their growth has soared, especially in cities, nearly 2 million students are now enrolled.
Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos is a supporter of charter schools. Charter schools siphon resources away from regular public schools, just like this school in Harlem, which is forced to share a building with the charter.
They have been given the pick of the resources, the pick of the space. They have much better funding. It's a money-making venture. Education is a $1 trillion business. Huge. But they can't get to it if the system isn't privatized.
Rodenberg believes President Trump's school choice agenda would siphon money away from the schools doing the most.
Even the people that I know who are conservative know that these public schools serve so many roles. They know that public school here is a necessity.
They are often privately run without the same standards that our public schools have, despite receiving federal funding.
Now, companies like Amazon and Microsoft have tablets that they want to sell to these school districts, to these charter schools. Well, can't public schools sign contracts with these corporations and, do the same thing? No, there are certain rules that prevent public schools from signing contracts with Microsoft or Amazon. These corporations are hoping that they can cash out big time by getting these charter schools to sign these contracts.
The lack of regulations in charter schools goes beyond just feeding into corporate interest. Charter schools are heavily segregated.
School integration gains achieved over the second half of the last century have been reversed in many places over the last 20 years. The trend has been blamed on the effects of charters.
Because of this lack of standards and leadership in charter schools, they have either failed or closed. This puts stress on families just trying to give their children a good education, as well as community members. Charter schools bring jobs to the area and educate hundreds of students. So when that school fails, the whole community is left to pick up the pieces.
The first day of school turns out to be the last day of school at a local charter school, leaving families scrambling to find another place for their children.
As a mom, of course, it's devastating to me when he's crying because he can't go back to school.
Kids change faster than the market. And by the time it's obvious a school is failing, futures may have been ruined.
Why are parents choosing charters? Nobody's forcing them to go to a charter school. If parents weren't choosing charters, churches wouldn't exist. Parents are making these decisions, not bureaucrats, not me, not you. Parents are choosing these alternatives because apparently they think they're better for their children.
Corporations and politicians want you to believe that charter schools are what's best for students, but in reality, they're taking away vital funding from the students who need it the most. Call your local representative today and say no to charter schools. Get involved with your local public school, because when we invest in public education, everyone wins.